Right, I'm lucky and privileged enough to be sat here in front of the iconic, legendary Redmire Pool. Probably one of the most iconic shots in carp fishing. The pool itself has been here since the 1600s. It's about 3 acres in size, and when you get here, you realise that it resembles any old farm pool in the middle of nowhere. So its rich history is almost unbelievable when you kind of look at the surroundings. It's considered by many people, industry experts, to be the home of carp fishing. If you're into your football, you want to play at Wembley. If you're into your rugby, you want to play at Twickenham. If you're into your carp fishing, you definitely want to cast a line into Redmire Pool. So there we go. So the estate owners in the 1930s wanted to combat an extensive weed problem. So they instructed Donald Lennie to introduce 50 small carp with the hope of doing so. Little did they know, they'd set the wheels in motion to starting what would probably be the most unbelievable period of British carp fishing ever. So 21 years later, a certain Bob Richards came here and caught a British record carp, the very first 30-pound carp, at 31 pounds in 1951. So that was something unbelievable. And then only a year later, the legendary Richard Walker came here and caught the famous Clarissa at 44 pounds. It's believed that he originally named the fish Ravioli, possibly something to do with his dinner that day, who knows. But Clarissa ended her life very happy at London Zoo, where she was on display for everybody to see. That record stood for well in excess of 25 years, when another icon of our sport came here, Chris Yates, and caught the Bishop, weighing a staggering 51 pound 8 ounces. And that British record then stood until 1995. So when you think all that happened here, as well as plenty of other big carp and unbelievable stories, just to be here and to fish here is a pleasure for absolutely everybody that comes here. I have no doubt about that. So it definitely isn't going to be the fishing that makes this trip. It is just kind of having a look at different areas of the lake and working out where these famous fish were caught from and kind of tracing back the history. So real pleasure just being here.
Right, so this is the peg I've chosen for our Redmire 48-hour session. It's a peg known as stumps. Now, some of the pegs, even in the deeper end of the lake, don't have much depth to their margin, so I picked this one because there's quite a bit of depth either side. On one side you've got an overhanging tree. I mean, if you just keep to the edge of that tree and probably a rod length, maybe 2 rod lengths out, looks like a good spot for a bite. More interestingly though, that side is a lovely looking reed line that is obvious, an obvious place to put a bait down, so looks good for a bite there. So I mean, nothing produced as of yet, but we're seeing, we're hopeful. I mean, I've got the middle rod out, just out in open water there where it is the deepest part of the lake, but yeah, as I say, we're hopeful.
Right, I've chosen to fish the willow pitch, basically mainly because of all the different options it provides me. Really got some really nice snaggy looking margins down both the left and the right hand side of the swim. Also right out in front of me, got some nice deep water. It's actually the deepest part of the lake, up the dam end here. So yeah, hopefully got lots of different bases covered, get a real nice chance of a carp, fingers crossed. Another reason I've chosen to fish just yet this area, really, it's just a really nice part of Redmire. Got the boathouse just to my right there, got the most famous fence in carp fishing, really, just in view to the right. But also, I think it's somewhere around here, I'm not sure if it's this specific peg or not, but it's in this corner somewhere where Richard Walker caught that 44 pound fish that we all know, really, all those years ago. So it's an exciting place to be. Fingers crossed for some action.
the peg I've chosen is evening pitch. It's probably the one that intrigued me the most, looking on the internet and doing some research beforehand. Quite a few spooky stories, rumours of ghosts and strange occurrences, and being February, chances of a fish are quite slim, so you know, can't have a fish, might see a ghost. Haven't as of yet, but to be fair, it looks like a nice little peg as well, and quite a lot of space here, quite a lot of water out in front, and yeah, I think these margins look good for a fish, but also possibly seen something moving along the middle there as well. But yeah, we'll give it a fair crack and hopefully manage to bag ourselves a Redmire carp. When I was doing research for fishing here, a lot of the threads on forums and comments I've seen and videos I've watched on YouTube showed it to be quite a clear lake, gin clear, which if you've got a clear lake, it encourages a lot of weed to grow, so it's quite a weedy lake as well. When we got here, we realised that that isn't the case anymore. It's quite a dark coloured lake, and as a result, not much weed does grow. In fact, certainly we've seen none here now, but it is February. But I would imagine even in the summer months it doesn't grow as prolifically as what it used to do. And I've just taken a walk down the back end of the lake, the shallow end, opposite bank to the dam, and I found this kind of clay brown stream just pouring into the back of actually into the back of Redmire Pool there. So that's actually what's causing the coloration. So yeah, not gin clear like it used to be. Also, in some ways, looks a little bit more mysterious, but certainly not much weed.
So Redmire Pool was made famous really for those huge record-breaking carp, but it's been quite a long time since we've seen anything of that gigantic size from this pond. Chris Yates's 50 was over 30 years ago. Richard Walker's 44 was way back in the 50s now. So that generation of huge fish has passed on now really. But it remains a good big fish water. There's still fish over 30 pounds, and there seems to be lots and lots of 20s as well. Redmire have got a website and a Facebook page, and all three of us have been checking both of those for all the catch reports for quite some time really. And yeah, we've been seeing lots of 20 pounders, but also just some really outstanding looking carp, lots of linears and fullies, just amazing really. But I mean, we take anything at all from this session really. I mean, just to get any carp at all could be a descendant of a record breaker, you know. Any fish to come out of this lake, it's a special one. So they don't need to be big, just please, just one would be great.
Yes! Come on! Get him!
Nice.
Could be a common PB.
What's your common PB?
24.8.
It is.
It is, yeah.
No way.
It's 24.
Say 24.9.
9 or 10.
9.
It's 9, isn't it?
24.9. I can't even believe it. It's 3-4 hours to go. Next swim along, me and Spatch were just looking at it and spotted a bit of bubbling up, perhaps on a spot from the guys that were here previous to us. So I just pulled a rod out and put a single hook bait on it, and I've got a new common PB from Redmire Pool. 24 pound 9 ounces, and I would have been happy without a fish. So to get this is, I can't see there being many bigger highlights this year, ever. This is definitely one of the happiest I've ever been to catch a fish. So what a stunning beauty of a carp as well. So it's just kind of put the cherry on the top of the icing on the cake for us. So back of the landing net, well happy. Let's get this warrior back.
Right then, I'm sure this lake doesn't need any more introducing, but if you do want to fish this lake, it's literally a case of going onto their website, the Redmire website. They do have a forum as well, which is definitely worth checking out, along with a Facebook page too, so definitely hop on there, have a look. We can't stress how historic this lake is. You know, with previous carp that's been caught, obviously it has held British carp records, but it's one that is that famous yet isn't a syndicate. You don't need any invitations to come and fish it. So literally just one day of the year, usually in January, the bookings go on sale. So it's a case of calling up. Some people do call and don't get through, so it is a bit of a lottery. But you know, if you are fortunate enough to get through, it's definitely worth booking.
Right, the famous Redmire logbook is just in this shed behind me, so I'm going to fill in my little report to put down what fish I've caught. I've just spoken to Les, who's been round, and he's just confirmed that is the 80th 20 out this season, so pretty good going really. So let's go and fill that in now. Well, Spatch is fished on possibly the most famous swim on the most famous lake, where Richard Walker caught Clarissa. And fishing Redmire is probably going to be one of Charlie's fishing highlights. And to come here and actually catch and to get a new PB is magical. See you next time.
Now you know that the time is come, and they said it would never come for you. Oh my friends, you haven't changed. You're the king of a living strange, and I know you got a taste for